Imagine a spacecraft so advanced, so ambitious, that it might just change the course of human history. A vehicle designed not merely to reach the stars, but to take humanity there, to stay. This is SpaceX's Starship, a sleek silver rocket that looks like it's straight out of a science fiction movie yet is very real and very powerful. With 6 jaw-dropping test flights under its belt, Starship has already proven itself to be one of the most revolutionary spacecraft ever built. But what if I told you the most fascinating details about Starship aren't the ones making headlines? Sure, we've all seen those incredible test launches, where this massive stainless steel beast roars into the sky. But beneath the surface, Starship is quietly setting the stage for something much more profound. Its interior advancements hold the promise of transforming space travel from cramped utilitarian missions into something far more human. And SpaceX's long-term vision? It's nothing short of making us a multiplanetary species. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain and dive deep into what makes Starship so extraordinary. From its stunning design that marries beauty with functionality, to its incredible potential to reshape how we think about life in space. And finally, the ambitious goals that SpaceX is building toward. This is a story of dreams, engineering, and the future of humanity. Get ready to see Starship like never before. While Starship's dramatic test flights have captured the world's attention, its real evolution is happening on the inside. You might think 6 test flights aren't enough to make sweeping changes, but SpaceX has already implemented thousands of internal refinements. These upgrades are quietly transforming Starship into a spacecraft designed not just for exploration, but for human livability. What's interesting is how most of these changes are invisible to the public. Unless SpaceX decides to make them public, internal developments go unnoticed, eclipsed by the drama of launches. But let's lift the veil to find out just how far the interior of Starship has come. Early prototypes like Ship 16 and Ship 20 were pioneering for their time, but far from perfect. Inside, the rough, unfinished textures and structural complexities hinted at challenges, instability and inefficiencies that needed addressing. Fast forward to today, and the evolution is nothing short of remarkable. Current designs boast smoother, more spacious interiors, complete with clearly defined and refined compartments. These updates don't just make Starship look better, they make it significantly more functional and future-ready. The structural framework is one of the biggest shifts. Previous generations of the design depended on complicated metal lattice structures, good for testing but not very practical for long-term use. The new ones are much simpler, with maintenance-friendly frameworks that put an emphasis on durability and efficiency. This approach is critical as Starship transitions from being a prototype to a reliable vessel capable of supporting humans on long-duration missions. And then there's livability. Not just thinking of astronauts, SpaceX is designing for the future space residents. All the way from augmented stability to modular, flexible compartments, Starship's interior is being engineered to host massive crews for weeks and months at a time. Think of this as a step toward creating another home. Whether that's in orbit, on the moon, or even Mars. Every detail, every unseen refinement is part of a bigger picture, preparing Starship to carry not just explorers, but the hopes and dreams of humanity as we take our first steps toward becoming a multiplanetary species. Now let's talk about the heart of Starship, its interior layout. This isn't just any spacecraft. It's designed to be a self-contained ecosystem, capable of supporting life for months or even years during interplanetary missions. With 6 distinct floors, every level serves a specific purpose, making Starship a marvel of both engineering and functionality. Starting from the lower floor, we have the cargo bay. This is where the heavy lifting happens, literally. This level will house all scientific instruments, essential equipment, and cargo necessary for research and exploration. Whether it's rovers for planetary excursions or critical supplies to establish a foothold on a new world, this floor is the backbone of every mission. Moving upstairs to the 2nd floor is where we find the resource center. Here, astronauts can find stored food and water, not to mention the most striking feature of this floor, a compact garden. Imagine growing fresh vegetables in space. Hydroponics and other modern methods of gardening will allow this to happen. It is not only a feature that provides nourishment, but one that brings an aspect of normalcy, a connection with Earth, even when millions of miles away. On the third floor, practicality meets innovation. This level houses zero-gravity bathrooms and exercise machines. Why? Because maintaining astronaut health is absolutely crucial on long-duration missions. Zero-gravity environments can wreak havoc on the human body, so this floor is all about combating muscle loss and keeping the crew in top shape. On the fourth floor, rest and privacy take center stage. Here, astronauts find private sleeping quarters to get some well-deserved rest. Designed to isolate these sleeping pods from the daily mission bustle, the pods ensure a good night's sleep even in space. Climbing to the fifth floor, we reach the relaxation area. Picture this: large windows offering breathtaking views of Earth, the Moon, or even the Martian surface. This floor isn't just about leisure. It's a reminder of why the mission matters. The vastness of space and the beauty of the universe can be humbling and inspiring, giving astronauts a mental break from their demanding routines. At the very top, finally, is the control center, the nerve center of Starship. That is where mission operations will be coordinated and monitored. The floor is full of technology required to make sure that everything runs well, from navigation to communication. It is here astronauts would make critical decisions that could be the determining factors for the success of a mission. From the cargo bay to the control center, every inch of Starship's interior is designed with care to balance functionality, comfort, and long-term sustainability. It's not just a spaceship, it's a home, a workplace, and a way to the stars. Starship isn't just about getting us to space, it's about building the future once we're there. SpaceX has ambitious plans for Starship to play a dual role in humanity's next giant leap, acting as both a transport vehicle and a foundation for permanent infrastructure on the Moon. First and foremost, its payload capacity. Starship will be able to deliver an astonishing 60 tons in one go, making it an ideal candidate for delivering heavy equipment, supplies, and scientific instruments to the lunar surface. That means Starship isn't just ferrying people. It's bringing the tools that will help to create a sustainable presence on the Moon. And here's where it gets even more interesting. SpaceX is developing one-way lunar Starship variants designed for dedicated roles on the Moon. Imagine a habitat variant that becomes a functioning lunar base. It can house the astronauts, be used for growing food, or even become a research establishment for the analysis of the resources of the Moon. This would not be a Starship that simply lands and goes away. Rather, it's one that sticks around, turning into a lunar landscape fixture. Then, of course, there's the tanker variant, a critical piece in the puzzle for supporting long-term lunar operations. This variant will carry fuel and critical volatiles, such as water, that are needed to maintain both machinery and life on the Moon. These would perform in situ resource utilization, reducing the need for dependence from Earth and fostering a self-sustaining lunar ecosystem. What makes all of this even more remarkable is the focus of SpaceX on cost efficiency. Starships are designed to be mass-produced on Earth with modifications done specifically for lunar deployment. This will drastically reduce costs compared to traditional space missions and allow a rapid deployment of lunar infrastructure on a scale that has never been seen before. We might see, in the near future, fleets of starships landing on the Moon, building blocks of humanity's first off-world civilization. With its unmatched payload capacity, adaptable design, and cost-efficient production, Starship will change how we explore and settle the Moon. This is not just a visit to the Moon. It is staying there and building a foundation for the next chapter in space exploration for humanity. The implications of Starship go far beyond exploration. It's poised to reshape the very economics of space. By dramatically reducing the cost of launching heavy payloads and people to the Moon, Starship is accelerating the development of an entirely new lunar economy. Imagine a bustling marketplace on the Moon. The affordability and capacity of Starship make it possible to transport everything that would be needed for mining operations, scientific research, construction, and even tourism. Resources on the Moon, such as water ice, metals, and rare minerals, could be exploited to fuel industries on the moon and back on Earth in a supply chain originating more than 200,000 miles away. But the moon is not the endgame. Starship creates the stepping stones to a far more ambitious undertaking, the human settlement of our solar system. And by getting us a step closer to a lunar foothold, it clears the way to begin testing some of the technologies and systems needed for Mars and other destinations farther out. The lunar missions are economic, stepping stones toward interplanetary colonization. What happens when a fleet of starships has finished their transport tasks? SpaceX's vision extends to that as well. Surplus starships would not simply be thrown away. They would become permanent lunar habitats and facilities. Imagine a starship converted to a research laboratory, a hydroponic farm, or even a hotel serving space tourists. This adaptability makes every spacecraft an asset for long-term use, supporting humanity as it expands much further into the cosmos. With Starship, we're not just exploring, we're building. By creating the infrastructure for a sustainable lunar economy and repurposing its assets for permanent settlement, SpaceX is proving that space isn't just a frontier. It's a new arena for human progress and prosperity. Starship is more than just a spacecraft. It's a revolution in how we think about space travel and humanity's future in the cosmos. With every test flight and design refinement, SpaceX is pushing the boundaries of what's possible, paving the way for a new era of exploration and settlement. Are you ready to be a part of this epic adventure? Track SpaceX's progress as Starship continues to change our universe, inching us closer and closer to the prospect of becoming a multiplanetary species. And be sure to subscribe to New for all the latest news and deep analysis on everything Starship and space exploration. Let's explore the stars together.